soon as image to music thing. I was unaware of that. I'll have to try it out. You're too hungry to order food. Mood. iOS only. Guess I won't be trying it. Next website. Click text then. Baby. Hive mind link again. And as I look at it, I am not having problems currently because I figured out a temporary solution. To answer that question. Hello.
Alright, let's get people come in. Let me know when it looks like everyone's in, then we'll get started.
Looks like we're about muffled up.
All right. Thanks for coming. This is the weekly Midjourney office hours. We do it every week at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Basically, what we do is we talk about what we're working on and what we're thinking about, and then we answer questions. Um, we're gonna have a new little question submission thing. So um, I guess I'll start talking before we do that. Yeah, but I want to give people time to submit the questions too. Is it better to do it before or after? Um, yeah, I guess we'll do it after. Cool. So the main release that's coming out soon is the standalone editor. So basically, you can put in images from the internet or from your own cameras or whatever, and you can edit them using the Midjourney models. It's surprisingly fun. It's a pretty different interface. I'm enjoying it. I think other people will enjoy it. It's useful. It's different than the current things. So like, I don't necessarily think it will be useful for the normal Midjourney use case, but it will be fun for new things. It's kind of a new thing. And yeah, we are debating about the release. We want to limit it in some way. So we either will limit the release at first to like pro yearly, or just yearly. And we're debating kind of like how we want to like limit the release so we can kind of keep an eye on it in terms of moderation. Um, it might change over time. So we're trying to figure out like the exact release aspects of it right now, but from a pure tech standpoint, I think we're close to releasing it. Um, I'm leaning towards like the yearly, but yeah, I'm not sure. Um, anyway, and that's that. And then the next thing is we are working on a newer fast personalization system where you can sort of set up a personalized model really quickly. You have multiple profiles, and then we push everybody to have it on. Basically, like we'll either nag everyone to death, or we'll do something to make sure that everybody at least has it, so that they could enable it. But we'll be probably pretty aggressive because I think it makes the experience a lot better. Um, then we are going to release probably new types of profiles, whether they're like demographic or style profiles. Like there'll be more advanced ways of having multiple of those. We're going to probably we're looking at a new workflow that might let you teach the model on the fly a little better inside of Create. But I think I'm a little bit more uncertain about that timeline versus the other ones because it involves like more infrastructural stuff. But I feel pretty good about it conceptually. Um, and then we are training a lot of new models, video models, 3D models, V7. Um, all of them are, I think the 3D model I think is a little delayed because people are sick again. Get your vaccines, get your vitamin D, get your vitamin C, all the vitamins. But then it should be ready to go soon. And then the video is training. It looks good. I think they're mainly trying to figure out what kind of video model we're going to release. I think right now all the video models are kind of like slow, bad, and expensive. And so I think we want to make it like not all three of those things. We want to make it like, I don't know, fast and good, but expensive, or maybe like, yeah, I try to figure out like something that's not fast, bad, and sorry, slow, bad, and expensive. So we're trying to, we have a bunch of ideas. A lot of them are promising, but basically we are trying them now. So we're kind of in that more productization stage for video, um, more than the research stage. And then we, the V7 model is training again. It takes a few weeks to train, so we had to restart it a few times, but it is training. And hopefully, over the next few weeks, we kind of go from the training to the tuning mode. But I would assume, I think my gut would assume that it's training for the next month. Um, Usually, when it's done training, it takes a few weeks to tune. But hopefully, we're looking at a V7 release, this year. We'll see what that actually involves. I don't think we fully understand what V7 is going to be good at or bad at in a lot of ways. Like it'll obviously be better at text understanding. Um, but it should be faster. Will be better, more coherent. We'll kind of have to see. We don't fully know. Like it should be better, but it's always we also trained it on more data, so that will have like unknown qualities to it. Um, and then we have a bunch of stuff that's sort of fast following for a 7.1 release with even more data. But maybe we even just like do that earlier. We're not really sure yet. So I think there's a lot of questions around the V7 model in terms of what it's going to look like, but it has a lot of new things. Like almost every single thing in V7 is different. Actually, I think every single thing in V7 is different than V6, almost like 95%. So we'll kind of have to see what that actually looks like in practice, but it's hard to predict because so much is different. And then what else? I think once the V7 is released, there's a lot of controllability stuff we want to do, more drawing stuff, more color stuff, more new character like character reference stuff. I don't know the rapidity of like that kind of feature release, but I think we'll want to do a lot of stuff there. We're gonna try to release the depth reference as a feature inside of the editor. So in the editor, we may like push out a lot of features that let you make kind of shitty images. The depth reference can definitely make shitty images, but it feels more like a photo filter in some ways. It's still fun and it's very useful in some contexts, but it will be in the editor, not in the create flow. The create flow is more for like making stuff from scratch. I think the editor is more for editing things. And it does feel kind of like a different product, but I think it's fun. It's cool. I think it's just a good thing. Um, what else? We're going to try to release a bunch of research posts talking about what we found with our demographic studies and our psychometric stuff. We're going to show more. We're going to try to release some more stuff talking about the collective intelligence things. We're going to try to release some more standalone stuff that lets you play with these. There'll be the first storytelling release. I think we're not 100% sure that everyone will be able to use the storytelling tools at first, but at the very least, there'll be like videos and talks, and Max is going to come on and talk to the community about it. But I think we're going to try to let it so everybody can use it. It's definitely not going to be perfect, but it's like cool and provocative, and it's going to need a lot. It's going to change a lot over the next few years, but it's very interesting. I think that'll be cool to let people see that. Yeah, so there's a lot coming in the next few months. In theory, we got storytelling, we have these research reports, we have the editor, we have the new personalization profiles, new types of things, like where there's demographic profiles that you can set in the thing as a personalization, or like new style commands, and the V7 release, probably the first video release. Possible to get the 3D one too. I think we're debating. I don't think we know at this point if the 3D is before or after the video. It's very hard to tell. But because the video is going a little faster and 3D is going a little slower than anticipated. The video has like a lot more people on it than the 3D, so that's also an aspect of it. But also like it's possible we'd rather do the 3D as like a version of the video model. So we haven't decided all those things yet. We're kind of trying things out. We'll see. I think that's about it. There's a lot of cool secret projects going on. So I'm hoping that we have time to release, or I have hope that we have time to announce all 3 crazy secret projects over the next 6 months. All of them are pretty cool. Definitely some of them are weird. They're all a little weird and new, and I think that's okay. Um, you know, I can't say that everybody in the community is gonna like all three of the secret projects, but I think everybody in the community will really like at least one of them. So, can't make everybody happy, but it's gonna be pretty cool. Actually, there may be more than three, depending on how you count it. So maybe more than three. Some of them are definitely like bigger, and some of them are smaller. Like some of them are going to take multiple years, and some of them are things that like we have prototypes of today. So it's going to be, yeah, a lot going on, and I'm excited. Cool. So I think it's time to do questions. So what we're going to do is we're going to share a link in the channel, and people can click the link, and then you can submit questions on it and rate each other's questions. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to go down and answer questions. We try to change it every time, so we're building like these little hive mind tools. And we are learning and constantly making things better. Yep. All right. We will submit your questions, vote on the questions. I'll give it a minute. We have to start looking for the things that people are asking about already. Where is this? Looking for some of the personality stuff people are asking about. Do I have it? Do I have it? Um, maybe I don't have it. Is this it? Yeah, I may not have it. All right. So the first question was, based on the personality tests, how do people Midjourney differ than the full sample? I actually literally had all these stats computed. I cannot find them right now. You're putting me on the spot to find a research thing. I mean, I obviously like people in the Midjourney community care a lot more about aesthetics. That came up really highly. I think there were some things that were very not consistent. Like some people are very social and some people are very shy. What one might expect. Um, there was definitely like more of like people feeling like we live in a world of abundance and beauty. There's a lot of yes, I unfortunately do not. There's like 200 things that about the community from that. I want to write it up. We're gonna have a report. It's gonna be great, but I do not know it off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I tried to find it. I did it a week or two ago, so I'm basically preparing all the blog posts right now. It's not the first blog post. I'm gonna do the demographic blog post first, and then I'm gonna do the psychometric blog post after that. And unfortunately, I'm having a hard time finding the one that people just asked me about. I cannot find it. I'm looking. I'm looking. I can't find it. Yeah, you put me on the spot to find a data set. I'm sorry. But we're gonna do a big report on that. How is the editor gonna be moderated? We're trying a lot of new types of moderation on the editor. So the new editor has like way more moderation than the normal system. It's definitely not perfect, but we're gonna watch it pretty closely and try to see how it's working, which is one reason why we didn't want to release it to everybody on day one. Um, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. But it's got a lot of moderation, way more moderation than normal service. I think we will probably add some of these things to the rest of the service at some point. But also, we're just going to make the jobs more expensive because there's more moderation on them. So the editor jobs are more expensive than normal jobs. Probably like 2 or 3x, but yeah. We are going to look at a lot of the images by hand. So that the reason why we wanted to look at a lot of images by hand was one reason why we're going to limit the release to sort of start off so there weren't too many people on it. But yep, these are all questions that we're asking that we are. I think I'm pretty happy with the moderation on the whole. I think like most things are just solved. There are things that are more intrinsically ambiguous, but I think we can figure out some way to handle that. One reason why we thought about making it a yearly membership a requirement for using the editor is that if you do anything bad, you basically like lose your yearly membership. Like we ban you and keep the money basically. So there's like more money on the table, less motivation to break the rules. But we have to figure out exactly. Yeah, we're making a decision still. Where will we get in the future a describe button in the web UI? Yes, there will be a better describe experience in the web UI at some point. I agree the describe experience on web sucks. It's one of the only things I use the Discord interface for still. We have a good idea on how to fix that, but we do not have anyone to implement it. So we just don't have enough people to work on every feature in the product. Sorry. And we'll get better. I think we're going to make a new describe for V7, so that might be a good time to improve describe on the website. Can you elaborate on personalization? Advanced personalization incoming. Yes, so there's going to be multiple personalization profiles, so you can have as many as you want, basically. And then there are going to be different types of personalization profiles. I think there's going to be the normal kind. There's going to be a style kind, it's just focused on a style. And then there'll be one that's probably like demographics. It could be like, I want to, I'm a 30-year-old Japanese man, or something like that. That's probably going to do all three. That's what we're currently thinking. We haven't tested all of them, but yep. Can you add multiple images to a canvas in the editor? Not yet. Right now, there will just be one image at a time. You definitely could add more than one. I don't know if it's. I'm still like, I still need to see like more examples of where that's a good thing, but I guess I think, yeah, we have some teams that do it on one of the internal tools and they say it's good. But I don't think we want to add multiple layers to the editor on launch. It is the kind of thing that you will see over time. I don't see any reason not to add it. Could we categorize our personalization codes? I don't know. I don't really know what that looks like. We're not adding a lot of, in general, we're not focusing on organizational features right now, but one could imagine having like tags or something. I don't know. It's either tags or folders. I think folders give me anxiety. Tags maybe worry because there's like never any successful products that use tags. But I mean, also like a lot of people just don't use organization in general. So yeah, I don't really know what to say about organization. It seems like the only solution to organization is to like have many different versions and like to be okay with there being like everybody having a different form of organization and yeah, like having multiple versions of everything. On the website, add an X to the imagine bar to clear text. Um, okay, that's an idea. It's interesting. Um, I will throw that out to the team. We are not, yeah, it's interesting. Ah, I opened up Notepad and it opened up 1,000 notepads. Help me. Just got buried in notepads. Um, I'll put it on a different notepad. More notepads. Okay, I wrote the idea down. Can you explain the depth reference feature? Yeah, so I think we're gonna change the name of it to like retexture. And so the best way to think of the depth reference is like you're like retexturing the image, like everything that is texture is changed, but the shape should be similar. So we're just gonna call it like the retexture mode or something in the editor. Forgot exactly what it's called, something like that. A
Yeah, it's
style
currently
reference
called.
navigation would be nice, where you get a grid of images already created, select an image to get a new grid to fine tune it more. Yeah, we're gonna definitely have more style tools at some point, probably after the V7 launch. Any thoughts about a search tool for sref codes? Yep, we've definitely thought about more sref things. Yeah, I definitely wish there was more. I think our designers have been just not. I think yeah, where we need unfortunately we haven't really had enough people on the team or the coordination to do sref specific web features. I think in general the website like is I would say we can work on one thing at a time really well, and then past that one thing, it like falls off really quickly. But we can do one thing and then we can do back end really well. But then when it comes to like multiple front end things, we don't quite have enough front end people right now uh, to do that. Well, like front end design, because like we'd have somebody implement something, but then there isn't any design for it. And then we have design people who can't implement things as much, so it ends up being kind of in a weird middle place where we have like one group that can kind of take everything from concept to production, and then the other groups are trying to figure out how to do a thing. Yeah, so we basically I think we're trying to hire like more front end people who also do design who can take whole features and figure things out. Um, but we're not in a great place right now there. Still trying to build a team. Any word on post control? It's definitely something we can do really easily. It's just not a priority. So I think we'll have more control things after the V7 release and the other major releases. What's the status of batch 8? Um, so we're gonna try to do a batch 8 thing with the new personalization flow in Create, but kind of stay tuned because it's a pretty big change to like the whole product. So I don't know exactly when that will come out, but I'm trying to get a batch 8 thing out. How would you rate the prompt adherence in the new Midjourney release? Um, I think in general we've always had worse prompt adherence than everybody else because like when you put it you like put a gun to everyone's head and everyone says they don't actually they don't care. They just want the image to look good. And then there's somebody who's like, well, it should have 3 mushrooms instead of 2. But then like that's like 1% of people who end up really caring about that. So prompt adherence is important. We do want it to be better. However, it's like obviously secondary to image quality. And so we are in aesthetics. So we are like the new system, if we just like didn't care about aesthetics and we pushed out like the non-aesthetic version, it would be, I think, better than everything else that prompt adherence. But then after we put all of our aesthetic stuff on top of it, will it still be better than everything? Harder to know. But I think it doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm just not convinced that yeah, so basically there's a bit of a conflict between aesthetics and prompt adherence. Kind of makes sense, right? Like if you were working with somebody, you know, and you're like, I want to blue this, and like, oh, blue's gonna look terrible. I'm gonna make it like teal, you know? Like that's kind of how the current system works, is it doesn't always perfectly listen, but in general it like always makes things look better. So there's a bit of a balance there. we'd like to try to get a system that does everything correctly, where there's like no trade-off. But I think it's slightly of a research task right now as to how far we'll get along there. All I can say is that if we didn't care about aesthetics like everybody else, our system would be way better in that measure. And given that we care about aesthetics, it's going to end up a lot better than the current system, but I just don't know if it's going to be perfect plus perfect aesthetics or if there'll be some trade off. We're not far enough along basically yet in the tuning phase. So usually in the tuning phase, that's when you kind of decide all your trade offs, if that makes sense. Both the systems like will be really good, but then you decide there's always trade offs before you release. Because like yeah, so in theory everything's gonna be perfect, but in practice there might be some trade offs. Will video be available in relaxed mode given that it's going to be expensive? Uh, we don't know. So the relaxed mode, I think, loses us money right now. It doesn't like a lot of money. But I think when it comes to the video release, it's a question of like whether we have like spare computers or not. So if you have a spare computer that's running anyway, then relaxed mode will be free basically to run the job. But if you don't have a spare computer that's running anyway, then relaxed mode, in order to get it done within a certain amount of time, we boot up an extra computer, and it basically costs us the same as a normal mode. And it's okay. Like if we didn't have relaxed mode, we would probably like drop the price of all the plans. But people seemed like they would rather have relaxed mode than lower costs. So that's the trade-off we've made. Yeah, I think that at the beginning, video will definitely not be available in relaxed mode, but maybe over time, as we understand the amounts of compute we have and that we need, we would add it. Are any new features going to be coming out in the next week or two? I think the editor stuff will be pretty soon, and then I think that multiple personalization profiles could be coming pretty soon, but it's hard to say exactly when. Is V7 worse than V6 in any way? We don't know yet because it's not done training. I think in general, every model is worse than the other model in some way, but then it's better in most ways. So I think, we'll have to see. We'll still be able to use the old models. So people can still use V1, I think, which is kind of crazy. Can we get individual image weights on the web for srefs? There isn't currently a way to do this. I think we know that people want to do it. It's just, it involves like a design and front end at the same time. So basically, we only have like a single thread of that kind of thing right now. We do know that people want it. So sorry that we're so slow on web front end, but we just want to. I would say in general, if you want a like secondary feature, it's just going to take a long time right now. And then if you want us to come out with like flagship features, that's where most of our energy is going. So basically, on the website, we are not doing a good job at delivering secondary features, but we are doing primary features at a reasonable pace. So hopefully over time we'll hire more people and be able to do more things. But I think right now it's just a challenge. Are the next 3 cool secret projects as cool as the personalization feature? Yeah, I think that all the projects are really, really cool. I think the projects that are going to take a longer time, might be cooler than the ones that are. I mean, they're all cool. Ones that take a really long time may be more or less cool to you, depending on like what you value. But I'm very happy with the new things. I think they'll be very cool. Any Niji updates? The Niji team is working on video. There are no planned Niji updates other than that. When we do V7, there will be some kind of V7 Niji mode, but we haven't yet decided when that will come out, probably after the main model, as usual. But we're hoping to kind of unify Niji into the V7 model better in the future. So that way, like they are more in sync in terms of model releases. We'll see how that goes. Can we have both square tiling and panoramic tiling? I don't know what that means. Uh, oh, you mean like only tiling in one direction? Yeah, it would be nice to do tiling in one direction. I think we had that at one point. Yeah, it's just we're yeah, it's like very niche, but it's very cool. We should probably add something at some point there. Is there a vision in your mind of a completed Midjourney? Not really. I mean, I think we know that the current models are going to become real-time open world simulations, and that's in some ways the end of the basic tech. But there's once you have that, I think there's going to be a lot of other stuff that is opened up and that people want. So it's just hard to see beyond that horizon fully. But I think there'll need to be real-time open world simulations, and then we'll need some totally different user interface. That's like 1,000 times better than the current user interface. I'm yeah, they're completely unrecognizably different user interfaces. Is there an option to search for similar images made by the community? Yeah, so you can. There's a little magnifying glass over the images, and when you click that, it shows you more images. And then when you're on your own image, you can click the little drop down. There's a little when you click your own image, there's a little magnifying glass in the upper right, and that also does it. So this is a great example of one of our like terrible things on the website, which is that we have a lot of icons, and it's not obvious what the icons do. But I would encourage you to mouse over the icons and see the tooltips. And I apologize in advance for having so many damn icons that are completely unclear on what they do. But we have a lot of things, so I'm sorry. Um, when downloading an image on your phone, the file name sucks. Yeah, I agree. I think the mobile experience in general is just kind of behind right now. We don't have enough people to really work on mobile and desktop simultaneously. So I would take the mobile thing right now as like a, you know, lucky that I mean, it was up to me. I would probably just disable the mobile, say sorry, mobile's not supported right now. But I think the team really wants to have like would rather have like a sort of semi-broken mobile thing than a not a mobile thing. So I hope everybody is happy with the semi-broken mobile thing. This is the best we can do right now. Is the reason why we hardly see people using sref and refs on the explore page. I mean, I think people just don't use them all the time. But I mean, if I scroll to the hot page right now, the second one is using references. Um, but yeah, I think we might have taken things off the explore page if they only have. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think they're not used all the time. I think some people use them a lot, and most people don't use them at all. Um, but they are important features, obviously. Um, can we have a feature at some point that would let us toggle between beautiful and better prompt analysis? I mean, it already works like that a little bit. If you turn down stylize, it does get better. If there was like an extremely big trade-off mode, I would think about it, but we'll think about it. I think we have to kind of get a sense of what works and what doesn't before we can say like new modes. We have so many modes right now. Adding a mode is fine when you're at like 3 modes, but then you get to like 16 modes, and someone's like, mode 1 doesn't work when you use it with mode 8 and 12. And then, you end up in a hard place. Um, Storytelling thing is provocative. I think it's cool. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to them showing everybody what they've been working on. Can we have a Midjourney that's prioritizes style coherence and adherence over aesthetics? Don't really totally know what that means. You can always turn the stylization down, and that might improve your adherence in some ways. So like stylized 50 plus raw might give you what you're looking for. But it might be better to ask in the prompt chat room for advice, depending on exactly what you're trying to do. But we are going to have better systems of like better style reference systems in the future. We have like a new one kind of coming that looks promising. Will V7 style codes have backwards compatibility with V6 style codes? Um, Probably not. I want to update the style system for V7, so I kind of want to break compatibility. But you can always use the image to help build a new style. So you can use the images as image references to make a new style. Yep. How are you dealing with deep fakery? We have a lot of moderation. We ban a lot of people. I think that's the big thing. We're a paid service, so most of the people who want to do deep fake stuff don't want to pay for it. And then when you ban someone, they usually get the hint and they don't come back to try to do more. So I think there are just only so many deep fakey people right now in the world, and we've banned most of them, or they don't want to pay. So I'm also not. It's not obvious that we're the best platform if you want to do deep fakes. Like in theory, if you want to do deep fakes, you want to like download a Chinese model and fine tune it on some specific images, and that'll work really well. Or there's like even deepfake apps, I think, on the App Store. I don't know if they banned them all yet, but they're like specific deepfake apps that only are focusing on deepfakes. So I really don't think that we're not really a great platform for that for a lot of reasons. Um, what are you most looking forward to in 2025? I am most looking forward to announcing all of the projects and publishing all the research and moving towards like a more like moving more towards being a research lab in a sort of obvious public way. Um, all I ever really wanted in my life was to have a cool place to work on cool projects with cool people, and now I have the opportunity to have that. So it's all about whether I can take that opportunity and do it, make myself happy, make baby David happy. It's all baby David ever wanted. Um, So I'm very excited to kind of actually have those. I would say at this point, I'm pretty happy because all the projects are going, but all the projects are secret, and we need to hire more people to work on them. So I really want to make them not secret so that we can hire people for them more easily, and so that people can kind of see all the cool things we're working on. And we can talk about them more often. Also, some things are going to take a while. Some of the research projects will take years. So I know for some people, the idea of years is like, that's forever. Oh my God. And some people like years, that's like no time at all. And so I just, I do think some things are worth waiting for if they are big enough. And I think there are a lot of things that will take years that are going to be really exciting in the space. Like real time open world simulations being something that everybody can use for cheap will take years. There will be an expensive version sooner, but it will be very expensive. And I think it will not be affordable to most people. And so having real-time world simulations affordable to everybody on Earth, that's something that's going to take years. But it's worth it because it's awesome. So there's a lot of things like that that will take years but are worth it, and it's awesome. And we want to get them all started rolling and announced. Obviously, seeing the real-time models, 3D models, and the video models all at the same time is going to be really exciting. I think it'll be a really cool platform. I'm really excited for the next versions of Explore. We're trying to build a bunch of new Explore things right now, and I think the Explore will be like 10x better. So I'm really looking forward to a better Explore experience because I really like seeing what everyone's making. I like the feeling of activity of all the things happening. So that's gonna be really cool too. I forgot to mention that, but we are working on a better Explore and personalized Explore, and I think it's going to be like 10x better and can come relatively soon. When will we get custom parameters on the web? it's been on somebody's plate for like 4 months. I think they've been almost ready to publish it for months. But I think they keep having higher priorities. So we have a lot of things that are higher priorities. I'm sorry, but it is something that we intend to allow. Are there words or prompts associated with sref codes? No. It's just sort of going to a point in this high dimensional style space, and it's just random. Can we have the ability to delete our own hive mind questions? I don't know why you need that. I'm just gonna. It just seems like it's interesting. I don't know. Feels maybe. I don't know. Seems like a weird, kind of a weird. Everyone wants to delete things. Does combining sref codes create a new one? No, it just averages the two. So like each sref code goes to a different point in this style space. And when you do two of them, then it just takes the average of the two positions. Custom AR in the image editor. You can just drag things with your mouse. You can't type things in yet, but you can just drag things with your mouse. Can we have image search on the website? Maybe sometime, but we did that briefly and people were abusing it and we didn't have time to fix it. But it is definitely a thing that we would like to do at some point. But I think, for example, like having a better explore feed to me is way more important. So you can only work on so many things at the same time, but it is a good idea. Lots of talk, David, about V7 video, 3D, and storytelling. When will we really see anything? Well, bro, this is a office hours, and I'm being very open with you about what we're working on. However, I do not want to show things because, like, for example, V7 is training, and you can't really see it. You can see early versions of the grid where it just looks like slosh, but I mean, that's what it looks like. It goes from sloshy to very coherent over the course of several weeks. Video, I mean, I could definitely show some sample videos, but I mean, who cares? Everybody can show like a sample video that looks perfect, and then something like Sora would come out, and then people would realize it sucks. So I'm not really into like. I think a lot of companies like to show cherry picked results before products exist, and I think that is actually in itself more dishonest and harmful than just telling people what we're working on and then showing it to people when it's available. So I think I will talk about what we're working on, and I don't want to like. I mean, I guess I could show you bad videos, right? And I can show you good videos, but then it's like most people don't even know what the normal mix of bad to good is on the other services because nobody uses them that much. So like, um, yeah, I don't know. Feels like it's a no-win game. Someone's gonna be unhappy no matter what. 3D, I could show some 3D stuff, but like, there's lots of types of 3D. So, we ourselves are still trying to decide what the final 3D looks like. Storytelling, I want to let the storytelling team show you guys the storytelling stuff. I think a lot of these are things we're working on to release this year. So I'm mainly talking about what we're working on to release this year. So hopefully you'll get to not just see them this year, but use them this year. So remember, there are a lot of other labs that will announce something, and then 1 year later, you still can't use it. Our strategy, or usually what it is the other companies, they're extremely secret. You don't know what they're working on. They announce something, you can't use it ever, basically, like a year. And then when the time you use it, it's kind of bad. So what we do things differently. Talk about what we're working on, and then we let you use it as soon as we can. And there's no in between. So we're open about what we're doing. There are not really any secrets except for the secret projects. Like 90% of our stuff is not secret. We'll just tell you what we're working on. 10%, there are some secret projects, but I think, like, come on, you gotta have some mystery, And I think everyone's gonna be really excited. And if I did tell you what we were working on, everyone will be like, lots of talk, David, about telepathic whales on the moon, but when are you gonna give us those whales on the moon? It'd be like one more thing on the list people want me to show them. So I'm just gonna say they're secret and show you it when it's working. So for the secret projects, we're going to show you them when they're working, but we won't necessarily be able to use them. So all the secret projects are like multi-year projects. So we will announce things and we will show you things, but you won't be able to use them. Whereas all the normal Midjourney things, we just talk about what we're doing, and then we just let you use them. So I think that's like a pretty good way to function. I wish other companies worked that way. In general, when people are most secrets are kind of like, yeah. Usually, when companies say there's something secrets because there's nothing really going on. So, uh, or I don't know. But yeah, for me, I mean, I am talking to a lot of people about our secret projects, just not on here yet. So there are a lot of people who know what we're working on, but not on here yet. Probably, yeah, a lot of people. But we'll see. Just want to say thanks for doing these weekly office hours and hope the staff gets well soon. Yay. Yeah, I hope everybody enjoys these. No one else does anything like this. I'd really love to see other tech executives do an office hours once every quarter, you know, maybe once a month. Once a week is definitely hard, and I don't blame everybody for not doing that. But, it's kind of crazy that more people don't do it once a week, once a month, or like they could have somebody do the office hours, like have like one of your 1,000 employees do an office hours, right? Wouldn't be crazy. But I really hope it shows like the difference in values we have versus everybody else. Like not only do we care about this, like talking to everybody and being open, like we care about it enough that I do it. Like the founder, I do it every week. I would do it more than every week, but then obviously at some point, like there's nothing new to talk about. So I think once a week is already maybe even too much for like not always having news, but it's very open. And I like being really open. I think this is cool. Like trying to be the change you want to be in the world, be the change you want to see in the world. What's the best way to learn Midjourney? Try all the features, talk to other people on the Discord, just practice, get a feel for it. Can we have art contests? I do want to have contests, but I think we're still trying to figure out ways of doing it. When video becomes available, will videos start appearing on the Explore page? Something like that, yes. I don't know what it will look like. But yes, there may be a video Explore page versus a picture Explore page. Yeah, I just don't know. I haven't figured, but there will be videos. You'll be able to see those videos. Do you have an originality detector? We try to do originality detectors. We're gonna have like an originality leaderboard, but then people who just type gibberish are like always the most original. So we don't have a great thing yet that does like originality, but not gibberish. Do you follow the artistic trends? What do you think of them? I don't know. What are the artistic trends right now? I feel like a little. There's a lot going on in the world. Um, I think I probably spend more time thinking about old art than I do thinking about new art. Um, like I am particularly fascinated in forms of beauty that persist through time. Uh, like there was this headdress thing from this woman who lost her son or something, and she would wear these sort of like black headdresses for most of her life in the 1800s, and it had this like weirdly beautiful, timeless quality to it that persists today, and that's like interesting to me. There's a lot of things that I think there's art that's of the moment, and then there's art that is sort of timeless. And me personally, I tend to be most interested in the timeless qualities of art. I think the ones that are of the moment are very important, but just that's not my personal interest. My personal interest is in the timeless things. Also, the really original things, like I often try to understand, like what, where does like original thought and creativity really come from? Because I think most things are, in one way or another, kind of derivative. Like we make up things based off other things we've seen in our lives. But every once in a while, you see something come out of nowhere, and you're like, where the heck did that come from? And I'm particularly interested in those areas of creativity. And I often am trying to understand the nature of, I would say the two things that I'm most interested in terms of art and creativity are what makes something timeless and what makes something original. What makes something truly original. Those are both really interesting things. Um, yeah. Is there any plan to add some kind of watermark to identify the images as AI? So there's already like a thing on the images that says, hey, this is AI, but it gets stripped when you upload it to a lot of services. So most services, when you upload something, they destroy the watermarks. We could make a bigger watermark, then you could crop it. So there isn't really like a great watermark right now that's like guaranteed to survive uploading onto the internet. We've definitely thought about doing more things to help people identify AI images, but what we've mostly done is we will privately talk to a lot of the larger tech companies and we will help them figure out how to identify the images algorithmically. And then I think a lot of the bigger companies now are starting to have like algorithms to identify if something is an AI image or not. And I think we've helped with a large percentage of those. And I think that's probably a better way of doing it because it's easier to write an algorithm that recognizes if it's AI than it is to actually like force stable diffusion to implement a watermark or something. So right now they're doing more of like universal algorithms that identify AI images and helping people get them. So that's why I think on a lot of platforms right now they'll mark something as AI. Hopefully it's because of us. Um, or at least partially. I don't know, hard to know, but I think we definitely helped a lot. Yep. I want to delete them because somebody already asked the question. Yep. Thank you for the clarification. What about folders and subfolders? Yeah, I think we're still trying to figure out what to do with folders and subfolders. I agree that it is not in a great state. Like we need one level of organization beyond where we are. We hope we can add it at some point. But I think the team is regularly debating still on the right way to do it. When video does release, any thoughts on a Midjourney Film Fest? Yeah, I don't know. I try to, some people think that like Midjourney is just about art and like entertainment, and I don't really like that. I like to think of this what we're doing is about imagination and exploration, and so I worry that anytime we do like an art contest or a film festival, it sort of reinforces the false narrative that it's about art rather than about imagination in its purest form. So far, I've been avoiding things like that. But I think at a high level, I approve of such things. Like I approve people trying to come together and make things together. But I'm just like slightly allergic um to like arts and entertainment trying to claim ownership over the entire visual world and like all forms of creation. So I, in general, am not currently pushing any of that myself. Um, yeah, not ideal, but it's something that I struggle with. Like, because I really want to encourage this. Like, it's not like it's a vehicle. What we're creating is a vehicle for imagination. Like how you use a car is a vehicle of motion. Use a car to move. You use these tools to help you imagine. Will we be able to tag people on the web like we do on Discord? Maybe one day. We are really behind right now with our rooms. I am like generally unhappy with the current rooms product. We will probably have to change. We probably should change something in a big way, but it's a lower priority. Um, will the web only users have access to micro polls? Yeah, we should do something there, but I haven't figured it out yet. We still need a lot to do more on the community side. The events are awesome. Will there be more? Um, We would like to do more events. I don't know what we're doing right now, but I would like to do more principally. Please add relighting features to the editor. It's possible relighting is actually just depth reference. I'm not sure. I think I'm not sure what relighting is. I think it depends on the product. It's just sort of a word. When will the open in Discord menu option on the web be functional? I thought it was functional. Is it broken right now? Do you know?
Um, I haven't tested it recently. Previously, it would just open in a browser tab. There were a bunch of weird issues with it. I can poke them on it and see if there's anything actually wrong or not.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so for now, honestly, I think we're going to be focusing on just pure web features more than the web Discord stuff for a bit. I would like to do more Discord specific features, but I think our focus is going to be on web and mobile for a bit. Uh, I think we want to understand like what Discord is truly good at, and then basically make it good at that, rather than trying to make the website Discord make the Discord a website. So I think we're gonna like try to specialize a little bit with the different products, but I think that means us trying to figure out the web and mobile side on our side first more. So a lot of these new features like the editor or batch 8 will not be available on Discord. But there are definitely some cool opportunities for Discord specific things. So I think it's going to look more like each thing having its own things. Like I'm not totally sure if batch 8 is ever a good idea on mobile because it's kind of overwhelming. Possible like mobile should be batch 1, desktop should like web should be batch 8, and Discord should be some other thing. Kind of meditating on this still. Regarding personalized, is it better to skip images you don't like or rate every one? It shouldn't matter. In theory, it doesn't matter. In practice, it might, but it's hard to say. What do you worry most about? Um, I mean, I mainly um not really a worrier. I mean, I would say maybe like I would worry about not dreaming big enough and doing crazy enough projects. And then I'd be slightly worried about dreaming too big and doing slightly too crazy projects. So probably some on the borderline of like not being crazy enough and being too crazy. Let's see. I think the rest of the questions are starting to get low down. For front end developers, you can go to careers@midjourney.com. Like just skimming now. Should you be concerned about interstellar space exploration? Yes, we should have interstellar. We should have interstellar space exploration. Woo! I'm like fully down. We gotta turn Mercury into a processor cloud and start it thinking about the wormhole problem so we can then go to other stars and other galaxies. Take your vitamin D. The Dario's Machines of Loving Grace paper. It's a little weird that we call it that because that's like a famous poem. I don't even feel like I was surprised that it was named that, but it's a very long paper basically saying if we create an AI that can solve any problem, we were going to solve lots of problems that are important, which I agree with. But I also believe that just because we can build machines to solve problems doesn't mean that we should stop solving problems ourselves, and that I think solving the problems ourselves will, in some ways, teach us lessons to build better tools to solve problems better. So, and that we need to not just make machines great, we need to make people great. So, um, in some ways, like I'm not really an AI guy. I'm more of an IA guy. So historically, there were two communities: the artificial intelligence people and the intelligence amplification or augmentation people. So the IA people, they invented a lot of things like text editors and spreadsheets and the mouse and graphical user interfaces and object-oriented programming. And their idea was always like, if you could, they would say things like, what if you could like program a computer inside a computer, uh, then, instead of using punch cards? And they made a lot of pretty revolutionary things that are, I think, presently much more important in the world. I mean, not just almost all the revenue of technology right now is to make people better at something rather than to replace somebody at something. The idea of AI being like these sort of independent things that are going to either replace or function on their own hasn't really been realized yet. Um, but people have been talking about it for a long time. Like literally in the 60s, there was a story of Marvin Minsky, who was one of the godfathers of AI, and Douglas Engelbart, who was one of the godfathers of intelligence augmentation. Marvin Minsky was doing a talk, and he was saying, "We're going to make machines alive. We're going to make machines conscious." And then Douglas Engelbart raised his hand and he said, "If we're going to do all that for machines, what are we going to do for people?" And they just kind of glared at each other. And so I think historically there's been a bit of tension actually between the AI people and the IA people. And I really do think that we're more of an IA company, which is one of the reasons why we do everything so differently than we are an AI company. We really do want to try to make people better. And to me, I think that the only interesting question really is what we can become, like what humans can be, what we individually can be, and what we collectively can be. And I think the idea of like setting machines off into the universe on their own is not as interesting. I think they would be interesting if the universe was like a dead place. And so, like, some AI people like to think that the universe is dead except for us, and that like it's our destiny to create like machine children that populate the universe. But I think it's really hard to be intellectually honest and believe the universe is empty. I would say like when you go to places like NASA, pretty much 100% of people who aren't religious like believe the universe is filled with intelligent life and advanced machines. It's hard to look at the numbers and come away with any other conclusion. The universe is too big and too old, and we are made of really basic building blocks like carbon and water, not like uranium. And the universe, there are like six places in the solar system that could have developed life, and we're around a normal star. And if there was life at any planet, it's very likely it could jump planet to planet from asteroids over billions of years. So it's possible that it's possible that even life on Earth was seeded by life from other stars, like that carried its way along on rocks and smashed into the ocean. So, I think when you start to back out and take the universal view of like a universe filled with intelligence and machines, and then you ask what is the purpose of man? I think the purpose of man suddenly becomes a little different. It becomes more about well, we are this unique thing. There are a lot of machines in the universe, but there are only people here. And so for us, the unique opportunity and unique journey is to figure out what people can be, figure out what humans can be, and to kind of explore the richness and beauty of that in our own unique way. And so in some ways, like maybe like I have like my like universal view has made me work on different things as a technologist. I think it's very possible. But I do think we could use more differing views in the AI space, because I think um, uh, if we all had the same view, we don't necessarily have enough creativity, and I think it's likely that if we were all going to pick one idea, it wouldn't be true. So it's always important to explore multiple ideas, multiple views of things. Um, Yes. Can we have a Midjourney vision? Ooh, that's kind of a cool idea. Midjourney vision, MJTV, MJV, MV, JV. Um, I'm just like jumping through different things. Um, we should get a storytelling team thing around the end of the month. Do you think your gender demographics would shift if you offered more options than Discord and web? Well, what's the other options you think we should do? Um, Mobile? We would like to do more mobile. We are prototyping more mobile stuff. I think the biggest question is, should mobile be the same as the web, but like crammed into a smaller window, or should we make it different? I'm leaning towards it should be different, but the second we want to make it different, we don't have a lot of people to work on design. So I think we are constantly bottlenecked on our ability to implement front end things. Hopefully we can hire more people for it. What are the gender demographics of the Midjourney community? I think it's like 70% male, 30% female. We would like to make it more female. We think that like having the default personalization hurts a lot because if you have the default personalization, it's going to be like more male than female and might discourage women from coming, things like that. So we're hoping that like the more personalization helps make it something that everyone enjoys more. Are there code names for secret projects? We talked about having code names. We were actually going to call all the new models like code names, like V7. It's actually Project Guppy, and then our hope would be that all the competitors they quiver whenever they hear about Project Guppy. The Guppy's coming. The Guppy is coming. It's going to crush us. The Guppy is so powerful. What happens when the Guppy comes? Little like making the code names all little things. Tadpole, Project Tadpole. Editor probably comes out in the next week or two. We were going to have death map strengths, but I think we're going to have one strength. Where are the rules? Ancient, where are the rules?
In the documentation, I actually linked it as a response to that question.
Can we get a way to generate unattractive or overweight women? Um, you should be able to do it if you prompt it right. So maybe go to prompt chat and ask for advice. Ooh, do we miss esoteric questions by going for popularity? Very possibly. Let's see, what's low? API access? Probably not. Corporate compliance? We think about it, but not up priority. Do you think world domination is a good? I'm not really like a dominating guy. I don't know if anybody should be dominating. I think we should all just try to be the best people we can be and encourage others to be great. Uh, yeah, so some of the great looks like some of the lower rated questions are the crazier questions. When will we have self-replicating robot mining asteroids in space? We'll probably have self-replicating robots. It will take more than 10 years and less than 40. So let's hope. Let's hope for 20 or 30. That reminds me, I was going to tweet about robots today. Were you impressed at anything at Adobe Max this week? I like this question. Yeah, I mean, I like that they had like a clip extending thing. Like, they do like fun. They do fun features. Like, I use Adobe products. Like, I use Photoshop. I use Premiere. I'm not trying to replace those things. They're good tools. And Adobe is adding good features for their tools. Um, and I hope that people always understand that we're trying to do something really different. And I think there's room for lots of people. Would you be able to tell if an alien intelligence started using Midjourney? I don't know. Maybe because they're my friends and they would tell me. I've got them up on the telephone already. I'm actually a secret ambassador for the aliens. Wait, if I say that, am I breaking my secrecy or would no one believe me? um, any chance of a style search in V7 that finds approximate matches for V6 sref codes? No, I think you'll just make some images with V6 sref and then use those as image srefs in V7. We have thought about these ultra relax modes. We might do an ultra relax mode one day. I am thinking a lot about it. We do have spare. There are like certain times of day or during the week that we have a lot of GPU capacity. So at some point we're going to add something cool like that. Um, why is relax mode so slow? Mm, so we changed it so that relax mode should be very, very fast when there are spare computers, and it will start to slow down when there are not spare computers. I don't remember if it also slows down if you use it a lot. I don't think so. Ancient, do you know?
It does, yes, but the exact numbers on that are classified.
Yeah. So I think that we had some issues with like people um we had some issues. We have a lot of issues with people just making like hundreds of thousands of images, losing thousands and thousands of dollars on them. Particularly in Asia, where the difference between like a $30 plan and a $60 plan, like that $30 is enough to just pay someone to just use relax mode all day as like a full-time job. And so we were seeing a lot of places where the relax mode was distorting things a bit, and we didn't really want to, because we lose money off relax mode. Um, well, whenever there aren't spare computers, we lose money on relax mode. We want to kind of start capping how that works to prevent to like reduce the maximum level of abuse. What I would say is that if you use relax mode on the weekends, we have a lot more spare computers on the weekends, so relax mode should be much faster on the weekends. And if you use relax mode at night, there should be a lot more relax mode capacity. Basically, during the day, during the weekdays, like because like 25% of people use Midjourney for work, when you are off work, there's like 25% usually extra spare capacity. So try your luck. Okay. Why is V 6.1 CREF so babyfied? Um, I think the CREF will just get better in the future. I miss voice questions. Yeah, I miss voice questions too. Unfortunately, I will not be able to do voice. I was gonna do it today, but I'm realizing that there's another thing I'm supposed to go to that I'm already going to be 2 hours late for. So I probably will not do them today, but maybe next time. Um, if you're a front-end developer, please send message at careers@midjourney.com. I think that might be about it for today. I'd like to control Midjourney with a MIDI controller. Yeah, we actually did a hackathon, I think, for this. So we definitely are playing with weird controls in the future. Midjourney is more about getting in touch with your inner self. I think so. Um, I think this might be it for the day. Um, yeah, I think that's it for the day. Um, I well, I think Um, okay, we have a request from Caleb. We were gonna do one last thing for Caleb. Does there no one know who Caleb is? Caleb is the chief of staff at Midjourney. He has been working with me for nearly, gosh, I don't know, 7 years. Um, and he would like me to ask everybody, why do people use Discord instead of the web, or what should we do to make the web better? So I think we had something sort of like this last time, but let's try it again this time. And so people can answer the question on the website on the Hive Mind. And I think the team, this is the web team that's kind of asking. So the web team just wants like wants to check in on everybody, see how they're doing and what they want. And so we want to see what people say and how they vote on things. So let's do this exercise and thank you for helping. We'll give it 5 minutes. I want to have like a band play. We should have like what's like what's like the most famous elevator music? I actually don't know.
Isn't that kind of the point of elevator music, to blend in so much that you don't know it?
No, no, no. There's like the most famous original, like there's like a guy who invented the genre. Like there was a guy who did this. Like there was a whole genre. Sorry guys, while you submit ideas, I'm trying to find elevator music. What's that? Do you hear that? No, I don't like that. All right, let's check in. Dark mode for iFind. Guys. All right, everybody submit your ideas and vote. Vote on everything. Vote on everything, guys. Vote on all the things. We need your help. Vote. If you don't have an idea, at least vote on the ideas. Are people there? Is anyone there? In theory, we have 300 people on, so everybody could be voting. Oh, wait, did you hear the music before when I played it?
Heard it very briefly, but not clearly.
You know, I really loved music for 18 musicians. There's a song called Music for 18 Musicians, and it's 18 musicians playing, and it's like an hour long, but they have to like take shifts. Like, classic. All right, everybody, submit your ideas. Rate the ideas. We only have 23 votes on the highest one. If there are 200 people here, there should be 200 votes on the highest one. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Those might be too edgy music. Maybe we could do. Listen to piano lately. Maybe listen to piano lately. 28. Getting a lot of ideas now, starting to get there. Thank you, Frank WL3. You are rated 69 things. I don't know, we're allowed to say the word 69. Pumpkin Panda, now in the lead, 70 different things. Who else? Jerry Curl, 6 ideas. I appreciate. I appreciate. Tina with 5 questions / ideas. All right. Come on, Senor Carlos and Furry Side. You can rate more things. Rate a couple more. Big Machine. You can rate it. Do it. Geeky Animals. I know you can rate a couple more ideas. Kasha Kasha. A lot of ratings. Good job. Boozlegast. I love that name. I love that you have 3 questions / ideas. I like how you have a lot of ratings. Dragon7108. Man, that was me. I used to have Dragon in my name a lot. I love dragons. I love dragons so much. Dragons are one of the best things. Mars with a Z. It's pretty hip. I like how you submit an idea. Can you rate a few more too? Fraglibus. Frag. That's a name. Nixie13. Rated a lot of ideas. Do you want to put any up there too? Probably have one good idea. Everyone's got an idea. Crazy Perfume. Nice. Raven Guard. That's a great name. Can you rate a few more for us? Let's rate a few more. All right. Well, you can't do some things on the website, but I mean, there's also like you can't do some things on the Discord. So I don't know if the goal of them is to do everything the same. Like they're going to be different. Yeah, it's really interesting if people are mentioning prefer. I feel like what percentage of users use the prefer is an interesting question. Like I feel like it's not like I know people who use prefer a lot, like it's gonna be a big deal for you, but is it like 1%? I wonder. Should have. I'm gonna ask our dudes. So you can do something like blend on the website. You just have to upload the images and use 2 image prompts. So blend does work on the website. Website feels ungrounded. Yeah, I agree. We really want to try to make the explore page more actiony. I'm hoping we can do something better there. So I think the new explore page is going to be the first thing to try to get it to be more of a A little bit more of a place. Ooh, a room of potential friends rather than a train station full of strangers. Yeah, that's interesting. Web cuts off the history. Text chats and people. Copy and pasting lots of options. Organization. Threads and jam. The increments are weird. All right. This is good. This is good. Jeopardy theme music? No way. This piano is classy as fuck. Listen to this. It's so classy. Ooh, got a violin. Oh, this is so good. Damn, we're just listening to some violin together. Isn't this cool? While rating on ideas and submitting things. You're all telling us what to do. I think we probably could do probably could remix seems easier on Discord. It's interesting. Add tabs to create to replace channels. Better emoji responses. Text chats. Add describe. Oh, I use Discord to hardest descriptions. Okay. Yeah, I agree. We definitely need to improve describe on the website. Mhm. Mhm. Damn, this is a good fucking violin. Wow, so good. Yeah, I like some of these things you guys are writing. Standalone app with a chaotic chat room. I agree. Oh, man. This is so good. Sorry, I'm just like getting lost in the sauce of this song. Oh, sorry, that's the noise suppression. If I turn off the noise suppression, do you hear it better? Yeah, Chris was probably hurting. I turned off the noise suppression. Sorry, guys. We'll have to figure out how to stream music better. I pasted the song in the chat if you guys are curious what it was. It was really good, though. Yay! Thank you everybody for voting. I think we probably have enough votes for Caleb to think about. So I wish there was like a good way to dump it. Can I dump it? Dump it, bro. Let's see. Can I dump it? Yeah. Ish. Ish. It could be better. No. Yes. Did it dump? No. Well, maybe Ivan and them can help dump it. Oh yeah, that was totally me playing violin. I'm actually really good at violin. I'm a maestro. How do they call it? Yeah. Dump it, bro. All right, Ivan's gonna dump it, bro, for Caleb, who's gonna analyze it, bro. And then I'm gonna sit here and do the opposite of broing. What is the opposite of broing? We're gonna we're gonna we're gonna put it through the femputer. The femputer will take a good look at it like a sister should. Dump it, sister. Dump it, sister. I like dump it, sister. Dump it, sis. Dump it, sis. All right. I think we're coming to a close for the day. Thank you, everybody, for submitting and rating things for Caleb. I think that's about it. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for coming to the weekly Midjourney office hours. We do these every week, Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for all the answers. We're going to do these more. I hope we get the editor out soon. And I hope everyone has fun with it when we do. And I hope we get all the other things out soon. We're going to work super hard. And thanks for hanging with us. I hope everyone has a nice week. See you later, everybody.